What's going on, guys? Cody Marchand from HidandSeek.com, and we got the Week 16 first look lineup on Draftkings for the NFL. First of all, I want to say I apologize for no videos last week. I was really sick at the beginning of the week, and then by the time I started doing some research on that slate, I was like, damn, this slate's kind of ugly. I know I want to get on there and help some people out, but it's not good enough to make me want to overcome my sickness to go out of my way to do a video for this. I hope you guys understand. I still talk to a bunch of you guys on Twitter. We still broke down the slate. That's kind of why you got to follow me everywhere, because even if I don't want to come up and do a video, you can just tweet at me. Be like, hey, Cody, who are you starting this week? I'll be like, hey, I love Mixon. I love Jalen Samuels. And we did all right. Somehow we won yesterday with 131, 135. I forget exactly what I scored. My lineup was 131 points. Pretty ugly. And it was just still a winning lineup just because the slate was so bad. Let me know how you guys did. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. This is probably the last really good slate that we have. So we're going to dive right into it. We're going to go over everything. We're going to kill it. Let's get right into it. So we got a 12-game slate, right? No Chiefs on this slate. We have the Saints. We got the Steelers. We got the Falcons, the Panthers, the Patriots. No Rams again, but we got the Colts. We got Saquon. We got some good players on this slate. So let's dive right into quarterback, right? Leading it off is Big Ben because he's got a good matchup against New Orleans. It's obviously in New Orleans, which isn't preferred. He's been really shaky lately. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to be paying up $6,700 for Big Ben. Do you? But, he kind of looks shaky against the Pats. I think two picks. He got in the end zone twice. Only 235 yards. He really hasn't been throwing for that 300-yard game lately. I think that could change against the Saints. I don't hate Big Ben at $6,700. I think there's a lot of good value this week at quarterback. So, most people in this range I'm not even looking at, Deshaun Watson, Drew Brees, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Trubisky. Andrew Luck I'm looking at because he's Andrew Luck. Obviously he had a 9-point game, but they wanted to run the ball. Marlon Mack, I think, had a career high in carries. They won 23-0. This game was out of hand pretty early. They started off to a pretty solid lead and kind of just controlled the game the whole time. Andrew Luck didn't have to drop back and pass. Plus, the Dallas defense is really good, especially against the pass. So, I'm thinking that there's going to be more open room against the Giants. I do think that they're going to want to pound the ball again, which reminds me that I do want to look at Marlon Mack's price because it's a great matchup. But Cam Newton's probably the main guy I'm looking at the 6,200 range. I do prefer him a little bit more to Andrew Luck. Yeah, a lot of people are coming off bad games, but look at how consistent he's been all year, right? His shoulder, we have to watch. It's Monday morning right now, so he's playing tonight against the Saints, so we want to see how he looks. And obviously this is just a first look, so depending on how he looks, I can easily fade away from Cam Newton. But I think at 6,200, he's kind of where you want to be in a great matchup against Atlanta. Last time they played, he had 31 points, right? 45, probably his definitely season high in pass attempts. Probably season high in yards. Probably season high in passing touchdowns, which those are all true. So Cam Newton has a great matchup against Atlanta. We saw how they can be beat all year. Baker, Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, Tom Brady, Josh Allen. I'm obviously a Patriots fan, and if there's one thing Bill Belichick really hates to do is play against rushing quarterbacks or quarterbacks that like to move. So, with Josh Allen, you're not expecting him to put up any type of passing yards, which anything over 200 is amazing for this kid. What you're hoping for is a rushing touchdown, some yards, and I just think that the Patriots are a really good matchup for his skill set, especially reeling after two bad losses. I think that they come back and beat the Bills up pretty good, but you never know. It's a good team. They struggled with them early in the year in Buffalo, at least at the beginning of the game. Dak I love against Tampa Bay at 5,700. That's one of the main value guys that I see on the slate. Obviously coming off a 7-point game where they got obliterated by the Colts. 0 points, but before that, big 30-point game, 27-point game. And the matchup is definitely on point. Jameis Winston in a tough matchup, but 5,500 is pretty cheap for a guy that's been producing the way he has. Sam Darnold looks great, guys. Like, I've said since March that I think Sam Darnold's the best quarterback in this class. I understand that Baker has definitely outplayed him so far this year. But look, can we just be honest about the supporting cast, though, around each player? They both have solid defenses. I think Cleveland's defense is a little bit better. Decent run games. I definitely think Nick Chubb and Carlos Hyde before him were much better for Baker. But the receiving core, David Njoku at tight end, Jarvis Landry, Antonio Callaway. Like, Sam Darnold has no talent around him. Like, I like Robbie Anderson a lot right now. And I like Herndon. I think I like the young pass catchers on the Jets, but not like a top 15 team. Like, even if he's in the top half of the league in weapons around him, I think Sam Darnold's great. You saw how he could play in a primetime spot on Saturday night. He looked great out there against a good Houston defense. No interceptions, 2 touchdowns, completing 24 out of 38 for 63%, 250. Like, same thing with Josh Allen. With the way that his team plays and kind of supporting cast and kind of how he's advanced this season, I'm not expecting a 300-yard game out of Darnold, but at 4,900, I just want you to understand that Green Bay is reeling. They're out of the playoffs, and I think that could be a good spot for him at home. But where I'm probably going to start my slate until I hear otherwise is Nick Foles at 4,700. Most likely going to get the starting nod next week. The whole Carson Wentz drama probably isn't going anywhere. I understand that the Eagles said that if they lost that game, that they'd probably shut down Carson Wentz, and since they won, it might be a little bit different. But as of Monday right now, they just beat a really good Rams team. I don't know if they go away from Nick Foles. So at 4,700 and kind of an average matchup, I mean, you just take the savings at quarterback right there. And I'll show you why in a second. But wow, this is ridiculous. This might throw a huge monkey in my whole entire plan because he's only 5,500. But the reason I want to save at quarterback is because I want to show you what this slate looks like at running back. These 3 guys are priced appropriately, right? 24 plus points a game, great matchups each. But McCaffrey against Atlanta at 8,800, right? We want to take that. But then these next 2 players, guys, I want to show you who they are, how much they've been scoring, and their price. I don't know what happened, but I think that there's like a misprice between Saquon and Kamara. Somebody explain to me why Saquon's 79 and Kamara's 7,400. Like, what am I missing here? Did he get hurt? No. He had a bad game, but that's about it. So we're going to go ahead, plug them both in until I see like anything else makes sense, because it just doesn't. Because you just got to take what they give you. But let me just go through some of the other running backs, obviously, because there is good value in the slate, obviously, with Marlon Mack here at 5,500 against the Giants, who, since they lost Snacks Harrison, has been awful. We saw what Derrick Henry did last week. Let's go to that freak show. Not on the slate, but he had like 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wow. All right, but what is a career high? 27 carries, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. Obviously, he's not going to catch a lot of passes for you, but repeatedly to a new career high in rushing, scored a touchdown, added 6-yard score, balled up on the ground over the last 2 weeks, but still has at least 96 yards from scrimmage or a touchdown for the last 5. And the Giants are just one of the best matchups you can have. In 5,500, it makes you want to at least think about it, but I don't think I need to with these 3, right? Just letting you know you can think about it there. Marlon Mack's a good pivot off of these obviously mispriced players. Nick Chubb's been running great, 100 yards last week. Great matchup against Cincy. Same with Joe Mixon at 7,100. Had a monster game last week. Was kind of the leader of my team. 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. Still hasn't been as productive in the pass game as he used to be, but that's all right when he's running for 130 yards and 2 scores. Connor, we'll see. I think that they could keep him out, just the way that Jalen Samuels has been running. Look at him yesterday. 19 for 142. I mean, 170 total yards, 172 total yards. Like, this team does not matter who the running back is. It's just it's the system. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to say it. Just look at the numbers. If you don't, just look at Evan Silva. What he tweeted today. Quoted JJ Zachariason's tweet talking about how running backs don't matter, and he literally showed that points scored per game, yards per carry, yards per play, points per drive, everything is increased this year with James Conner, Jalen Samuels, and Stephen Ridley compared to last year with Le'Veon Bell. Obviously, Le'Veon Bell, out of those 4 running backs, is by far the most talented, and anybody that wants to say it's James Conner, you haven't watched enough football, but it doesn't matter. Jalen Samuels can produce. Whoever's there can produce. Dalvin Cook coming off a big game. New offensive coordinator. Definitely wanted to run the ball more, and that's what they did. 136 yards, 7.2 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Even Latavius Murray. I want to see how many carries Murray took in this game, because I feel like it was a couple, but it might not have been as many as it looked like. Okay, so it was. It was 15 carries, so pretty close to an even timeshare there, 19 to 15, which is something to look at. They're not going to really say anything about why it was so split, because it wasn't previously, but maybe it's just because they were up early and they wanted to just keep Cook fresh because they wanted to keep running the ball. But that's something that I have seen, that they do want to run the ball more. Cook's a super talented player. I think he's super underrated just because he's been playing bad. But look at his last 4 games, at least 16.6 in all of them. Definitely usable there at 6,900. Trey Cohen always can get it done. David Johnson, great first drive, 66 total yards and a touchdown, and then ends with 101 total and a touchdown. Not that great. 6,200 though is pretty cheap. Fournette, no, he got 2 carries in the second half, or 2 touches total in the second half. I don't really know what they're doing down in Jacksonville. Aaron Jones pretty hurt. Marlon Mack, love it. Carry-on still hurt. James White, his playing time is super decreased. Lamar Miller hurt. Coleman, big game. I just don't like his running style. I think that a lot of those big plays aren't predictable. Jordan Howard, not my guy. Matt Breida kills it when he runs the ball, but, super tough match against Chicago. Good price, though. John Kelly, I guess we should just check on the status of Gurley. He only missed 1 drive, so he's fine. He came back in at the end of that game. I was just making sure it wasn't anything that could have, because they're playing a bad team this week. Definitely going to be one of the top 2 seeds in the NFC, it looks like, so they might have wanted to rest him against a bad team, but 2 weeks of rest him maybe a little bit too much. Kenyon Drake got, no work. How does he rush 1 time when Frank Gore comes out? Which makes me want to go down to Kalen Ballage, who came in and carried the ball 12 times for 123 yards, including a 75-yard scamper to the house. He's the one that benefited from Frank Gore being out, and he made the most of it. Obviously, it's a tough matchup this week, but depending on Frank Gore's status, at 3,700, this could be a nice value play right here. Not that I think we need it this week, but the other one I wanted to show you is Peyton Barber. I get it how ugly it is, but in the last 5 games, he's had either a touchdown or 85 total yards. So touchdown, and 100 yards. So he's had a touchdown before the last 5 games. And he's put up 85 plus yards in 2 of them. That's just interesting to me. He's getting 14 plus carries every one. 3,600, that's super cheap for somebody that is doing decent, right? So that's kind of where we're at with running back. Let's just go down to defense real quick, just scroll through. Bears obviously in play. Rams are in play. Vikings are in play. Dolphins are in play. Patriots are probably where I'm going to go against Josh Allen. Let me just make sure there's no one cheaper than that. 24. No one really I like below that either. Tough matchups are not that great of defenses. Tight end this week, I am paying down 100%. There's 3 tight ends I like. Super cheap, but I'm not going to lose another week because of Ebron or because of Kittle or because of Ertz or because of Kelsey. I am paying down. My tight end can get me 4 points. I don't care. But I'm not even looking in this range. My first guy I'm looking at is Ian Thomas, 3,500. 3,500, last 2 games, he's had plenty of targets. This is the game that when Olsen hurt his foot the first time, came in, caught 5 balls. Then right after, the week after, catches 9 passes on 11 targets. So I definitely want to see how they use him today. But if they use him anywhere between 5 to 11 targets again, like, this is too cheap. And if he has 6+ targets tonight, this will be my tight end guys. But for right now, I'm choosing even cheaper because I like both these guys. NFC East tight ends, either Blake Jarwin. We got 7 targets last 2 games, and I watched both those games because I don't know. Okay, the last one was the Eagles game, and then yesterday was the Colts game, and I had a lot of fantasy players in both those games. So I wanted to see what their offense looked like. I have a lot of Zeke shares, so it just stood out to me how much Dak was using Jarwin and how much they were moving him around the field. Intermediate routes, short dump offs, seam routes. They kind of using this kid in a lot of ways. And at 3,000, that's super cheap for 7 targets the last 2 weeks. I do like Herndon a little bit more for 100 more, just because I think he's a little bit safer of a bet. Averaging about 6 targets over the last month. Even before that, he's had some games with some targets, but about 6 targets a game over the last month. Yeah, he hasn't been producing as highly as we want him to, but I think he has a pretty solid ceiling. The kid's really athletic. I think Darnold's playing a lot better, so I'm probably going to go with Herndon. Is Baltimore on the slate? If they are, I just want to see what their tight ends did. They're not. I want to see what their tight ends did against Tampa Bay yesterday because I saw. Yeah, let's go with Blake Jarwin. How about that? Let's go with Blake Jarwin. Some receivers, before we get into it, I just really want to throw in the lineup that I've been loving their usage and their talent and their price, are 2 guys. Robbie Anderson, obviously with, look at this, 7-7-11. 96 yards, 76-48, touchdown. Way better with Sam Darnold back. Darnold's looking his way. 4,500 against Green Bay. I don't think those young corners can stay with him all day. And the other one is Trent Sherfield, the guy that replaced my man, number 13, Christian Kirk, on the Cardinals. And since that happened, he has done pretty well, right? He got in the end zone, and then right before that, he had 5 catches for 77 yards. His target share, about 6 targets a game over the last 2 games, but at 3,400 against the Rams, they're going to be down. He's going to get some weaker of the coverage. I like Trent Sherfield there. And obviously, I can pay for Thielen. I'm not going to. I hate Thielen. Super upset that I traded so much for him in my season-long league. Kicked me out of the semifinal game last night with this brutal line. Perfect matchup. I don't care if he comes out and kills Detroit, even though that was his worst game of the season at that point. The first time they played, ruined his 100-yard streak. Julio's a stud still. Pretty good matchup. Hopkins, stud matchup, stud player. Devontae Adams, stud matchup, stud player. I really wish I could get up to Devontae Adams, but there's just nothing I can go from Kamara to Marlon Mack, and I can get up to Devontae Adams, but I don't think I need to. Antonio, Michael Thomas, a lot of these studs have really good matchups this week. Odell probably going to be held out again this week. If he's not, I might go here instead. But why bring him back if he's really hurt? We don't know what it is. Cooper, tough week last week. Diggs, Edelman. T.Y. is where I really want to go. He said he was 70% for this game, and he caught 5 passes for 85 yards. I think T.Y. Look at these numbers. 125, 77, 199, 85. I think T.Y. is such a great player. He can do so many good things. I think, so this is what the lineup looks like before I even just keep going down the line. And let me see if I like anything, if I hate anything. Foles, McCaffrey, Barkley, Robbie Anderson, Sherfield, Hilton, Jarwin, Kamara, and Pats. The only 2 things I want to see is any 4,100 wide receivers that are a clear upgrade. No clear upgrades to me. And any 5,400 quarterbacks. I don't even think there are. I think the next one, 55 to get to a decent one. That would be nice. But Foles is fine. He didn't get in the end zone, but he threw 270 yards, like 77% completion, so that's fine. Let me just go down the list, find some more receivers for you guys, see if there's anything I like. Anything that stands out. I liked DJ Moore a lot at 5,600. You know, look at this target share, 8.9, 8.8. That's something that I really want to look at, especially depending on how he plays tonight. Like, if I put DJ Moore in here, who could I get up to at quarterback? Anybody, really, right? Yeah, I can play any quarterback, and my favorite quarterback would probably be Cam. So I don't think that's worth it. Stacking Cam Newton and DJ Moore versus Nick Foles and Ty. It'll be a decision, but I already have McCaffrey. This is a great matchup. I don't need to go 3 of my biggest plays all in the same lineup. What else? I was at 5,600. Allen Robinson, Alshon looked great with Foles. 8 for 8 for 160. Nick Foles' favorite target. Didn't miss a connection all night. Other than the lack of a touchdown, this was about as great of a stat line you asked for. And this was with Aqib Talib covering him. So we'll see. I think that we do prefer Foles under center for Alshon. Just that connection looked great yesterday. We can do some interesting stuff there. I wish he was 5,200. I could literally run this lineup and move off Anderson up to Alshon. That would be pretty cool. What else we got? Dede. Robert Foster's a stud. Killed it. 23-20. Targets aren't there, but he's a big play guy. Patriots are giving up plenty of those. Sterling, Tate, Demarius, Humphreys, Josh Reynolds, Curtis Samuel, Taylor Gabriel, Godwin. Didn't even catch a ball. Brutal. We knew it was a tough matchup. No one really played Godwin last week. Isaiah McKenzie. Is he still hurt? Carted off. Yeah, but then he returned to the game. That's interesting. So, I didn't see him come back in the game. I just know that I played him. And he had this stat line already. So, he just didn't come back and do anything else. He was one of my favorite plays last week on DK. What was he priced at? Yeah, the same thing. 3,900. But I liked him a lot in that game just because of the way they were using him. Nelson Aguilar could have had a big catch. Could have had 2 if Alshon didn't steal that one. That was clearly meant for him, but they were both there. Running the same route, so one of them was messed up. We don't know what happened. Zay Jones caught like 1 pass on 6 targets yesterday. So there's really not much else I like. Obviously, we could switch things up. Like, we could take away CMC, right? And let's go Marlon Mack. And then we can move off of Robbie Anderson all the way up to Hopkins or to Adams. So we can do Cam, Mack, Barkley, Devontae Adams, Sherfield, DJ Moore, Jarwin, Kamara, Patriots, which that's fine too. I don't know if I like that more, just based on not having CMC in there, but I have enough of it around him with DJ Moore and Cam. What else could I do? I could do Foles and then Alshon somewhere. Foles and then I probably can't move directly up to Alshon like this. But what I could do, DJ Moore, 5,200. I could do Larry Fitz. I don't really want to do Larry Fitz. Let me keep DJ Moore. Let me just drop defense down to 2,100. Eagles, we'll do that. Their Eagles actually looked good yesterday. They killed Jared Goff, harassed him all day. Sean Watson likes to hold on the ball for plenty. So this is my Eagle stack with Foles, Jeffrey, Eagles, Kamara, Mack, Barkley, DJ Moore, Devontae. So these are good receivers actually. So you can do a lot next week. This slate's looking really good already. So this is gonna be a fun one, guys. It's a great way to end the year on DraftKings. How'd your year go, guys? Did we make a lot of money this year? Because I did pretty well this year. Even got to take profits a lot this year, pull money out of Draftkings instead of having to keep putting money back in. Do you like these videos? Let me know your thoughts, guys. What do you want me to do for the rest of the week? Thursday video, Saturday video, Monday video. Let me know because they have a lot of different slates. I'm gonna do one more. And then if you guys want to get into that live video again on Sunday morning, let me know. That was fun. That was really cool. We had a bunch of people join the chat, and we did a lot of different lineups based on what you guys were asking. So that's going to be it for this video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, do everything that you need to do. Appreciate you guys for joining, and I'll talk to you later.